You're crazy. Why don't you take someone with you? Aren't you scared? All of these are things that I have heard from many people whenever I tell them that I travel solo. And understandably so. I mean, the world's a scary place. Once you actually get out there and you're all alone, it can be pretty terrifying. But I've traveled several times by myself to big cities where I don't know a single person, and it's very rewarding. Not everyone can travel solo, but if you're thinking about traveling solo, I wanted to give you some tips to try and help you stay safe out there along the way. So stay tuned. The number one tip is give someone your itinerary. And what I mean by that is before you go on the trip, write down exactly where you're going. Write down where you're staying, the address and phone number, how you're getting there, whether it's your train number or the flight number for the specific airline. Write all of the information down. If you are going to be traveling in multiple cities, write down the dates, where you're going to be going. Even write down what you plan on doing. If maybe you have something booked, maybe you're going to a baseball game. Write all of that stuff down and give it to a friend or family member before you go. That way, should something happen, they kind of have an idea of how to get a hold of you or where you are, just in case. Imagine you're in a big city that you've never been before and your family knows that you're going there, but some kind of major catastrophe happens. Maybe a shooting, a riot breaks out, natural disaster, something like that happens, and your family knows that you are in that area. They want to know you're safe. There is the possibility that the phone lines can jam up, but if they have your itinerary and they see, oh, you're going to be on this side of the city on this day doing this activity, but whatever happened over here, they're not going to be as worried. They're going to worry, but they won't be as worried because they know that you had not planned on being in that area on that day. The next tip I wanted to give you is be aware of your surroundings. Don't be in your phone. Don't be off in La La Land. And I know that it's very easy to do, especially if you're in a beautiful area and you're just looking around, taking all the sights in. But be aware of your surroundings. Is it a sketchy area? Maybe you need to move out of that area into a busier area or a more well-lit area. When I'm in a big city that I've never been in before, and even some of the cities that I have been in before, there's a few little tips that I use that hopefully it will help you. Number one, memorize your map. If you know on a certain day that you are going to be going to a specific location, maybe it's a museum, look at the map before you leave wherever it is you're staying and try to memorize the streets to get there. Now, I over-memorize my maps to the point I almost confuse myself, but I have the addresses pre-programmed into my phone. That way I can simply just put them in and it will direct me wherever I need to go. But while I'm walking, I will have my phone, I'll look at it and see, oh, for the next 3 or 4 blocks, I'm gonna be going straight. I turn my phone off and put it away, and then I walk. And when I think I'm getting close to where I need to turn, I'll pull my phone back out and look at it. Versus being a tourist who's constantly walking around with their phone, it's going to make you stand out as a tourist and a potential victim. Another thing is I try to stick to the busier streets. If I'm in a big city and I see two different streets that I can possibly go down, I will always go down the busier street. That way, should something happen, there's more people around that can help. If I see a more industrial street where there's not a lot of shops or restaurants, I kind of stay away from those. And in a worst case scenario, if you feel that maybe someone's following you or you're just not in a great area, having a busier street where there are different shops or restaurants allows you to step inside one of those shops or restaurants and call for a ride or call for help. For me as a woman, I kind of have to always be on guard. Unfortunately, that's kind of the way the world works. But one little tip that I use, ladies, and men can do it too, is if you are in a bigger city and you're walking down the sidewalk and there are stores that are lit up and have the glass windows, look at the reflections. Look at the reflections in the windows, because a lot of times we get a tunnel vision, and if someone is watching you as you're walking down the street, they're going to watch you, not their own reflection. So if you are walking down the street and you feel that maybe somebody's following you, you can stop in front of a store and look in the storefront. Maybe act like you're looking at a pair of pants in the window of the store, but you're actually looking at the reflection of the people around you. That way you can see, okay, yeah, that person actually did stop. They are actually looking directly at me, and they think that I don't see them because I'm looking in a store. At least you're already there at the store. You can step inside and get a ride or call for help if you need to. While you are out exploring and you're completely alone, you want to think about what you're carrying with you. Ladies, if you have a purse, carry either a crossbody purse or a backpack. Everything else, there's a very good chance that it can be grabbed and it's gone. It's easier for you to have that crossbody on, to have it kind of in front of you, or have a backpack. I carry a very small backpack and I will have it in front. I don't have the actual bag on my back. I have it in front. Now I kind of use it as an excuse to clip on my camera to get footage, but I have everything right here. And in order for them to steal it off of me, they're either going to have to cut the straps and possibly cut me, which they don't want to do, or they're going to have to somehow rip it off one arm and the other arm to get it off of me. Crossbody, it's going across your body, pull the bag in front of you to where it's right there, and it's a lot harder for them to grab that bag off of you. Another thing while you're out and about is think about your shoes. If it hits the fan and you need to get away, you don't want to do it in heels. You don't want to do it in uncomfortable shoes. You want to wear shoes that make it easy for you to get away. Tennis shoes, loafers, any kind of shoes that you feel that you could run in. Try to wear those. Now, I know that if you are traveling internationally, tennis shoes will make you stand out as a tourist. So instead, try to find some type of shoe that you feel comfortable in running in that will blend in with wherever it is that you are traveling to. That leads me to my next point. Blend in with the locals. In America, wearing casual clothes, athleisure wear is perfectly normal. You can wear that and you will blend in. However, if you travel internationally, that's going to make you stand out. And vice versa. If I wear really fancy clothes in the United States, I'm gonna stand out. However, I can probably get away with that in some other countries. So if you blend in, you won't look like a tourist. Maybe it's your hair, maybe it's wearing a hat or not wearing a hat. Look at what the locals are wearing and how they behave. Are they very casual when they walk into a store? Or how do they greet when they walk into a store? Make yourself blend in just like the locals, and you will be less likely to be a target. The last tip that I want to give you for staying safe when traveling solo is to double up on stuff. And what I mean by that is double up on whatever it is that is important to you. So for me, if I'm traveling, I have 2 wallets. I have one main wallet that has everything that I need in it, and I will keep that either in the hostel or in my hotel room locked away. But I will have what I call my dummy wallet. In the dummy wallet, I have one ID, I have one card, and I have a small amount of cash that will do me for just that day. So for example, I have my driver's license, I have one credit card or a debit card, and then I may have $20. But my wallet back where I'm staying may have $200, several credit cards, and my passport will be there. That's another thing to double up on. Double ID. Especially if you are traveling where you have to show your ID, airports, trains, that sort of thing, you will want to try and carry 2 IDs, driver's license and a passport. Now, if you don't have a passport, that's okay. Carry your license and a picture of your license. Even print the picture out. In color is even better. Have one with you and then have one as a backup. Obviously, things can happen. Your bag gets stolen while you're out. You want to be able to get back home and you need that ID as a backup. Passports are not that expensive. It's about $100? And it is a little time consuming to get a passport, but it is a good idea to have a second ID. It's always a good idea to have a second ID, even if you don't travel that much. Having your license and you lose it, you need to have some kind of ID to get a new license. You can have your birth certificate, but you still need some kind of an ID. You can have your picture on your phone and maybe print it out, but if you had a passport, you wouldn't even have to worry about that. You could just take your passport and call it a day. In addition to having double wallets and double IDs, I also have double electronics. Now what that means is I have my smartphone. It's an Apple product, but I also have an iPad. I purchased a used iPad from a friend. I pay, I think, $10 a month for the line, but it's a second electronic for me. What that means is, let's say I'm out in a city, I lose my phone, or my phone gets stolen. I need to have access to tons of information, where I'm going, my tickets for my flights, my bank account information, all of this stuff. I need to have a backup. And so I carry an iPad with me. I don't carry my laptop because I use my laptop for work. So if my laptop gets stolen, then how can I work? I mean, I can work in the office, but I'd rather not. So I carry a cheap iPad with me as a backup to my phone just in case. I hope that the tips that I gave today will kind of help put your mind at ease when it comes to traveling solo. I highly recommend traveling solo. It gives you an opportunity to discover who you really are, what you enjoy. You can go see, do, eat, visit, whatever you want because it's your trip. And you're not having to worry about anyone else on the trip. You're not having to worry about what they want to see or do or eat or visit or worrying about their safety. You only have to worry about yourself. I really recommend traveling solo, but you have to be smart about it, and hopefully these tips have helped. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to find out when the next videos come out, then just click subscribe, and I look forward to seeing everyone in the next video. Bye!